Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. Famed, legendary author and poet, award-winning author and poet, Black leader and activist, among many other things, Maya Angelou was found dead this morning. I believe it was this morning at the age of 86. Right now, they haven't said how she died. The way it was sounding, it was by natural causes. She is 86 years old, so she is up in age. A sad day for the literary world, a sad day for the African American community, and a sad day in general for we as a people, that someone, as iconic as Maya Angelou has passed. It has affected a lot of people. I'm sure that they're going to give her a sending off that is going to be something memorable. She's just touched and affected a lot of lives. All of her poems, I think we as Black women and especially feel some sort of connection with Maya Angelou because of the poems that she has written that has been so uplifting and conveys the strength of a Black woman that many of us have never been able to put in those kind of eloquent words. So yeah, very sad day that Maya Angelou has died. She has lived a full and blessed life, I'm sure, and so our prayers go up to her family and many of us who are very heartbroken by the news. But yeah, just wanted to let you know, if you don't know already, Maya Angelou died at the age of 86 this morning. Rest in peace, Maya Angelou. Gotta talk about your boy Elliot Rodger in Santa Barbara, California. I'm sure you all know by now. Elliot Rodgers is the 23-year-old young man who, because of his lack in social dating and the fact that he was a virgin, decided that he would kill as many people as he could because he lived, he was resentful for the life that he had lived thus far. They said that he killed, he killed 6 people. I don't know if I heard this right. Did he stab 3 people in his apartment before he went out and shot 3 more people? I think that's how it happened. And then he went on to kill himself, not before he ran over 4 people in his BMW. So yeah, he wreaked a lot of havoc, killed a lot of people, damaged quite a few lives. Very sad for a whole bunch of reasons. First of all, that somebody with this kind of mental this mental state was even walking around free somewhere. They said that he was a high functioning autistic child, but that is no reason why he did what he did, because most autistic children are not labeled as murderers. That's not something in their that's not something that they're expected to do. I think that the bigger problem is that he just had a mental problem. He was I don't want to say crazy, but it's crazy that he had gotten so far in life and was so just mad at the world, okay, that he could do something like this. Now, he's attracted to women sexually. However, it seems that he had gotten to the age that he was without ever having any girlfriend, never even kissing anybody, and he grew resentful and felt that all blonde white chicks needed to die. He started to expand those views on people who deal with white women, and then it was just men who have dates, period. When he would see a couple walking down the street, he would get upset and want to do something to them. So all this information came about because he wrote this over 100-page manifesto that he sent to either a television news station or a radio station, explaining exactly why he was the way he was. His mother left him when he was a baby, like 4 or 5 years old. His father remarried, and he hated his stepmother. They were an affluent family, traveled and everything. Actually, the father was the assistant director for the Hunger Games movie, the trilogy. And so this was a family that had a lot, gave a lot, okay? He did a lot, and he didn't like any of it. I think the fact that his mom was there and, you know, whatever the mental problems that he had, he just kind of in his mind equated that with women, period. Okay, and just like a general disdain and dislike, and grew to hate for women. The sad thing about it is, you know, he didn't have any one specific person in mind, even though that would have been bad. But, you know, he killed people that had absolutely nothing to do with him. These were people that didn't know him, that he, you know, didn't necessarily turn him down for dates or anything like that. Just random people on the street, except for those people that were in his apartment. I believe those are people, I think those were maybe his roommates. Yeah, just crazy. I mean, when you read the story, it talks about how he you know, he had planned on doing this killing back in November of last year, and for whatever reason he didn't do it, and he decided that he was going to win the mega lottery and the Mega Millions, and, you know, because he would be so rich, then it would be any woman on this world, you know, on this earth would want to be with him. He actually thought in his mind, with the odds that are so great on the lottery alone, we all know that he actually thought he was going to win and get this money, and that his life was going to turn around. And then, of course, when he, you know, repeatedly did not win the lottery, he got more and more upset, you know, wasn't able to get the woman. Just, y'all, just a loony story, just a loony, crazy story. I was watching on the news last night. They were interviewing you know, some of the families, and you know, they're quite upset. One of the fathers was very vocal in you know, expressing that he felt that because, you know, there was nothing done about the Sandy Hook, you know, and just gun laws in general, how people are able to just get these guns and use them. You know, I know people have a right to bear arms. That is part of our you know, that's part of our Constitution. Whatever it is, if it's not the Constitution, y'all gonna be like, oh, Roxanne, that wasn't the Constitution. I was not a history major. Y'all know what I mean when I say it's the right to bear arms, okay? But whatever it is, it is a right. It gets real tricky on trying to figure out who's able to get guns. I mean, you don't even know who is and isn't crazy or mentally unstable, and, you know, people have a right to protect themselves and their families, and so it gets all gray and very hard to, you know, fight the argument in either direction. It's just bad. But I think we can all agree that this boy was somebody that did not need a gun in his hand. He had 2 or 3 guns. He had 40 magazine rounds of ammunition. And if he hadn't killed himself when he did, it looked like he was probably wanting to do way more damage. He just, you know, he had got caught. He was about to get caught, so he killed himself. The videos, when you watch the videos on YouTube of him talking, I mean, you can clearly see there is a disconnect somewhere in there. Okay, it ain't all there. And not a bad looking kid, so not really understanding why he wasn't able to get any dates or any women. And it might all just boil down to personality. You know, it could be any number of things why he hadn't done anything. But yeah, he died a virgin, and he was very upset about that. So I don't know, you guys, it's just, you feel so scared sometimes just to be on the street. We were just talking about how Mark Cuban was saying, you know, if he sees somebody with a hoodie or tattoos, then he got a problem. Well, maybe you ought to have a problem with a, you know, a white and Asian mixed kid that's driving a BMW, dressed well, and living in a very affluent town, Santa Barbara. You know, I guess this goes to prove that you can just never ever really tell who is going to do harm to you. So anyway, our prayers go up to the families that were affected there. Not only the families, but the students, you know, the community as a whole, people that are there and having to try to, you know, figure out exactly why this happened. We don't know why it happened. Well, we do know why it happened. It happened because it was a crazy person that was on the streets that decided to, you know, exact his revenge on everybody. So, just another terrible story. I hate when I have to start my videos with just sad stories, but you know, it looks like we got a few of them today. Now, I don't really know much about this story. I kind of heard a little bit about it on CNN, but I haven't really followed it that much recently. But, you know, we all know about the girls in Nigeria, you know, the teenage girls that were abducted by the Boko Haram, and they kidnapped them so that they would, could get them married off at young ages or whatever. So there was this big push from the parents of the girls that, the Find Our Girls or Bring Back Our Girls movement, and it got to worldwide levels. Pressure was put on the Nigerian government to find these girls and bring them back home. Well, news has come out that the girls have been found. The Boko Haram let some of the girls, I believe, talk on an interview, just to let people know that they have been being fed and they weren't being, mistreated, and, that they were safe and sound. That's all, who knows if that is or isn't the truth. I mean, of course, you've got these girls held captive. You could be doing any old thing off camera, letting them know that if they say anything to fuck up this interview, that's your ass. So we don't really know for sure, but we can just take, what we can say is that the girls are still alive, okay? And for the most part, the bulk of the girls are all in one place and seem to be safe enough. The troubling part about all this is the Nigerian government is saying that they are not going to use force to try to get these girls back, but instead they want to use a diplomatic approach. And no one has much faith in the diplomacy of bartering with with this group that some are calling a terrorist group. So I'm just sort of feeling like, I hate to be the downer of the whole thing, but I just constantly believe that these girls are not going to get brought back. It seems like there's always some sort of excuse. Before they even found the girls, there was news about the fact that the girls are probably spread out all over the place, and it crosses, all this really rough terrain, and not only terrain, but it also goes into different jurisdictions, and, you have to get permission to cross onto these people's land with your troops and this, that, and the other. And it was so much political bullshit and red tape that it seemed like that it was just more and more excuses of why we not going to try to find these girls. But, now that they found the girls, it's just like, now what? So we just gonna let them sit there and, you gonna just try to talk to these terrorists? I mean, what do the terrorist people want? I mean, obviously they have something that they want in exchange for these girls. Is it going to be something that the government is willing to give? So it's just a mess right now. Frustrating for the families, I'm sure, to know that their children are right there and they could see them on camera or whatever, but they cannot get them. So I feel very sorry for the Nigerian women and men whose lives have been torn apart because their daughters are gone somewhere. But that is the update. That's the only update that I have on the Bring Back Our Girls. I don't know much more, but once I get more information about it, I will definitely bring it to you. So we'll keep an eye on it still. Alright, now that we got the serious stories out the way, let's get on to the bullshit. So first up, we have to talk about the T.I. versus Mayweather fight out in Las Vegas over the Memorial Day weekend. I think we all know by now that T.I. approached Mayweather. This would be the second time that we did find out that he approached Mayweather and spoke to him about having a problem with him hanging out with his wife Tiny. T.I. and Tiny have been in the middle of a separation, possible divorce over the fact that T.I. just cannot keep his dick in his pants, is fucking everybody, has a supposed baby either on the way or already here, amongst, just his philandering ways, okay? Up until a certain point, I guess Tiny put up with it, but, I think the baby was the last straw. Supposedly they're separated or whatever, and in between this separation, we've seen a few times where, T.I. has been caught up with some woman posting Instagram pictures of the fact that, he spent time with her on Mother's Day, cooked for her, or that, whatever it is, okay? T.I. has done whatever he's done. Yet and still, he still has a problem with the fact that Tiny is out living her life and doing whatever it is that she does. Tiny supposedly was at a party that Floyd Mayweather gave for his 14-year-old daughter, and she posted some pictures of it. It also looked like she was in Vegas kind of hanging around Floyd Mayweather, and she was posting pictures on Instagram, and I guess T.I. felt some kind of way about it. So he had an event out in Vegas, and the event just happened to be right next door to a Fat Burger that Floyd Mayweather and his team was in. So T.I. took it upon himself to go over to Fat Burger and want to discuss the fact that he didn't think it was cool that Floyd was hanging out with Tiny. Now, Floyd tried to make it clear to him, I'm not fucking your wife, okay? Don't be coming up in my fucking face. Okay, this is the second time, or we already talked about this before, and I told you there was nothing going on. Alright, so you need to get the fuck out of my face. You must forgot what I do for a living. T.I. said some shit about, yeah, you do that in the courts, in the not the courts, what is it called? In the ring. I do it on the streets. So I don't give a fuck where you do it. You was gonna get your ass beat. T.I. You was tripping. You let that ego really take care, take over your train of thought. Originally, the rumor was that T.I. swung on him, and I was just like, oh, I know he ain't that kind of fool. It later came out that no, he didn't swing on Mayweather. It was just that after the arguing back and forth was going on, because Mayweather told him, no, you need to control your bitch. Don't be up in my fucking face. T.I. had a problem with that. Everybody kind of started arguing and pushing back and forth, and they say that T.I. swung on somebody else, hit them. Then of course we all saw the video where the chairs is throwing and everybody is arguing and everybody's pushing, and you see just a general crowd moving back and forth, but you can't really see who did what. So at first they were saying that T.I. had 2 black eyes. He quickly refuted that, put it on Instagram, a video of him, his face clear as day, no black eyes or anything like that. But it did look like his hand was either broken or sprained. Floyd Mayweather has come out and said he apologized to Tiny for saying, control your bitch. He was like, she's a good girl, she's nice, her and her friends came and hung out at my mom's house at a party. It's never been anything like that. It's nothing but respect for Tiny. It's nothing been happening. However, in the past there was some rumor around at some point that Tiny and Floyd Mayweather were seeing each other, but that was just a rumor. I hadn't really heard much else about it, but that has been a rumor that's floated around in the past. So maybe that's why T.I. thought that something was going on. But I mean, we've already seen the shit that's been going on with Floyd Mayweather and his women. Tiny ain't Tiny's so far out of that fucking picture. I mean, he got enough problems with the 2 women that he fucking around with, and Nelly and Ashanti and all of that. I mean, I just, T.I. I think is the ego has taken him over, and the fact that he can't handle that, his woman might have moved on. Now, you done fucked around and did whatever the hell you want to do. Okay, even Tiny said in her comments on Instagram, because people were really going in on Tiny and saying that she was a groupie and that she was wrong and she was trying to make T.I. jealous and all of that. And I don't know if she was trying to make him jealous or not, but what I will say is Tiny has put up with so much with T.I. and everybody knows it. Okay, people pick on Tiny because Tiny, to some people might not be the most attractive person. I think Tiny has really gotten the fucked up part of this whole deal. So Tiny is trying to live her life. Okay, I don't think any of the pictures that she posted were inappropriate. And even if she knew that it might have picked at T.I., well, you know what, then fine. Okay, if it would have got on his nerves, fine. Okay, at least it wasn't her, in the kitchen cooking dinner for some man. Okay, it's always a double standard. Of course, T.I. has way more fans, and T.I. is a good-looking man, and he's a rapper, and he's, all of that. And then you got Tiny, who has to, deal with all the bullshit. I think that I really like T.I., but ain't roll with T.I. on this one, okay? Got to roll with Tiny. Tiny said that she hasn't come out and said anything to any blogs. So people that are trying to quote her as saying something wasn't true, although we did see what she put in her Instagram comments. Those are definitely her words, but she hasn't given any formal interviews. Only Floyd Mayweather has come out for now. T.I. hasn't said anything other than, said that he doesn't have the black eye. So yeah, just a mess, y'all. Just a foolish mess. T.I. should feel stupid, okay? What I think they need to do is, y'all need to just come on and say whether or not you're gonna be together or not, okay? Because all this is retarded. You fucking up your money, okay? You guys got this show already I couldn't figure out how the season came back for this season, because we already knew that they were having problems. However, they were able to come back with, you know, Family Hustle. But with all this shit going on, ain't nobody fixing to put y'all back on no show with no happy, you know, Huxtable family. And y'all doing all this, just fucking up your money for real. I mean, they both have other shit that they'll be able to do, but you know, we all, a reality show is definite, you know, easy money, because all you doing is living your life in front of the camera. I think we tired of T.I. and Tiny, okay? They are worse than Booby and Keisha Cole, okay? Yeah, I mean, just on a whole nother level of ridiculousness and living their problems out in the social media. I want them two to fucking either say we getting a divorce or work that shit out. But all this fighting and posting shit and making each other mad on Instagram is childish and it's ridiculous, and you letting too many people in on your business, okay? And then want to get mad when folk got comments and shit. Okay, well, stop doing it, okay? Get that shit together. Stop putting all your shit out there for everybody to even comment on. Okay, it's so easy to not have to, you know, live your life in social media. I mean, you could put shit out there, but, you know, when it's something that's, you know, negative or whatever, or if it's something as dear and close as your marriage or your relationship, you know, then you need to have a filter. And that's all I'm saying. But we'll see what goes on with T.I. and Tiny. You know, if I was a betting woman, I would say that the shit is over. But you never really know. Okay, so we'll see. What do you guys think? Do you think it's over, or you think they still got it in them? Alright, you guys, we also got to talk about this whole K. Michelle versus Perez Hilton. Yesterday, K. Michelle tweeted that she didn't understand how Iggy Azalea would be from Australia but sound like, you know, somebody from Memphis when she raps. K. Michelle put something like, you know, take back our music or offended or something like that. Perez Hilton, you know, he jumped in on her and said, oh, you should have said that you were jealous. And she, you know, so then these two gone back and forth, you know. Perez was like, yeah, well, bitch, you ain't never had a number 2 on the Hot 100, okay? Whenever you hit the list, let me know, okay? And then, of course, K. Michelle's talking about him being a queen and how he was fat and 4 chins. And, you know, the shit went back and forth. But the general argument here, and it seems to be a growing argument, is the fact of whether or not Iggy Azalea is authentic. Now, I've talked about Iggy Azalea a long time ago before she became, you know, the Iggy that she is today. And I had questioned too. Back in the day, I was just like, you know, I'm just not really sure if I feel like I believe it. But, you know, over the time, I've seen this girl really try to, you know, make sure she makes her mark in the hip-hop world. She's been out. I follow her on Instagram, and I've grown to like the girl. Look, I can't knock whatever the hustle is, okay? The girl is from Australia. Yeah, she sounds different when she raps. Okay, what is wrong with changing your voice when you rap? If that's something that is going to sell, I mean, if we were going to compare her to Nicki Minaj, and I don't think that they're comparable at all, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but if we were to compare her to Nicki Minaj in the sense of changing your voice and everything, Nicki Minaj does it as well, okay? We all know that Nicki Minaj has always talked about her different voices, her different characters, her Roman, her this person, her that person. I mean, and we can go back as far as Curtis Blow and all them. I mean, they don't sound like, you know, they're not talking like this. You know, they're not talking in their rap voice. Same with, well, it's not the same with KRS One, because he raps like he talks and he talks like he raps. But you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just the gimmick, whatever it is that pulls you in. And Nicki Minaj was 100% gimmicky at the beginning with all those crazy way out faces and way out hairdos and way out costumes. I mean, this is what she needed to do to hook people in. So if Iggy Azalea is going to do the same thing right now, then I can't really fault her. Now, with the problem that I have is that, you know, whenever we get somebody new, and I might as well go on and say it, she's a white chick. You know, I wouldn't say she's this out of control beautiful girl, but she's, you know, she is a white girl who looks good enough but has a really nice shape, and she's, you know, she's in this hip hop world. So, you know, everybody is all excited about this because we've been dealing with you niggas for long enough. So the first thing that they want to do is they want to compare and pit people against each other. So of course, because Nicki Minaj is the only female rapper out right now, who else do they have to compare her against? But they're not comparable. Maybe in time they will be, but right now there's no way that you can say with all of the shit that Nicki Minaj has accomplished in her career that you can compare her to Iggy Azalea, who is a newcomer. Okay, she just got this album out. They said she sold like 53,000 copies. Like, really? Are you really trying to say that, you know, she's bigger than Nicki Minaj, who sold over 4 million? I mean, who's like quadruple platinum? Really, it's not comparable. But you know, we get it. We get it. Folks are always trying to knock somebody off the pedestal, and Nicki Minaj just happens to be the one to be it right now. You know, and I like Nicki Minaj, but I'm not no extreme Nicki Minaj fan, and Nicki Minaj can get on my nerves sometimes, but it still is just absolutely no comparison right now. Now, I will say that I think that Iggy Azalea is talented, and I think the girl has it in her. Okay, if she can stay, if the longevity can last, and, you know, we can keep her on track, then yeah, maybe she will grow to do big things. And that's what it should be, okay? I mean, we need more female rappers out there, period. Black, white, pink, green, orange, yellow. We need more female rappers out there. And it's just unfortunate that the media and the magazines and all of that are going to pit these two rappers against each other instead of them, you know, being able to work together. I'm hoping that Iggy understands that Nicki Minaj opened doors for her, just like, you know, we really wanted Nicki Minaj to understand, and I think she finally does now. You know, the doors that were opened for her by Foxy Brown and Lil' Kim and all of them. It's just a cycle, okay? Once Iggy Azalea gets to the point that Nicki Minaj is at, then it's gonna be somebody else, okay? But we can't compare the two. They're not comparable. I know Forbes magazine did an article on it and everything, but it's just, yeah, the Forbes magazine is written by white men, and it's a financial magazine. Okay, they don't know shit about no hip hop. They don't know shit about rap. Okay, they just looking at what they seeing right now. They just happy to see a white chick rapping. That's it. Okay, and I have nothing against Iggy. Like I said, I like her. I got her album. I like the Fancy song. And I like a couple of her other songs. I think she has the potential to do very well. But you know what? Let's just wait and see. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Nicki Minaj definitely still deserves all the props that she got. And that's it. You guys tell me what you think about Iggy Azalea. I know we got off. If I was going to talk about the K. Michelle and Perez Hilton, I just feel like K. Michelle shouldn't say shit like that. It kind of makes you look like a hater. You don't have to be that way. K. Michelle has her audience. She's not as big as Iggy Azalea, and I don't know if she ever will be. But just to, you know, just to pick on somebody like that, you know, it just ain't cool. And then you open yourself up, of course, to, you know, getting the shit talked back to you by Perez Hilton. You know, she even tried to say that Perez Hilton had bought his followers, and we all know that that's not true. Perez Hilton is a very famous and successful blogger. Everybody that follows him because they want to follow him. Okay, so yeah, I think K. Michelle was molded yesterday when she was going back and forth with him, because he did read her quite a bit. Okay, he read her rights. She tried to come back and everything, but it still wasn't as strong as Mr. Hilton's was. But so yeah, I guess this question that I'm asking is twofold. First of all, tell me what you think about the fact that K. Michelle came for Iggy and Perez came for K. Michelle in return. And then secondly, tell me what you guys think about Iggy Azalea and her rapping skills, and you know, everybody comparing her to Nicki Minaj and trying to get all that going. Y'all let me know what you think about it. Kim Ye's wedding, it was this past weekend. I already talked about it in my last video, so I'm not talking about it again. Just a few new things that I need to talk about. One being that Rob Kardashian did not stay for the wedding. I saw a picture of Rob Kardashian. I haven't been watching Keep It Up with the Kardashians. I don't even know if he's still on the show. I saw a picture of him before he went to the wedding, and I could not believe how big the boy had gotten. I did not know that he had gained all that weight. I know that he was gaining the weight. But I didn't know that he was where he was, and I was like, damn. I feel sorry for Rob Kardashian. I don't know what it is. You know, that family, we all know, has a lot. It comes with a lot. It's a big burden. We've all seen that Rob Kardashian has kind of gotten lost in the sauce. Being with, he's got, what, 5 sisters? Yeah, 5 sisters, all beautiful girls, all very big in the media and the social scene and business world. I mean, they've got all kind of shit going on. The 2 younger ones are models, and the older ones got like this whole Kardashian, just this great big mega, you know, everything they got right now. And then you got Rob, okay? Rob trying to sell socks. Rob has never been able to quite get it together. I mean, he went to college, he graduated, he's just kind of fallen in between the cracks. I kind of feel like the fact that, you know, Chloe and Lamar are not together, you know, I feel like maybe they feel more like his parents or somebody that he can relate to. And when them two broke up, it just seemed like Rob just kind of went off the deep end. I mean, I did not think this boy was going to get this big. Nobody in their family is that big. Even their dad wasn't that big. I mean, I'm talking about family that we know from the show. So I don't know what's going on with Rob. I mean, I think that he's got some issues. I think that this weight gain, I really and truly believe it's because of, you know, whatever issues he has with being in that family. It has something to do with the fact that he's just never been able to find his way. I don't know if it's the result of being in the family or, you know, what it is, but yeah, I was just like, damn. So anyway, they're saying that at the wedding right before, him and Kim got into an argument and he left. So he didn't even stay for the wedding. I have a feeling that he didn't want to be there in the first place because he didn't want everybody to see him. I mean, he's kept a pretty low profile. Like I said, I don't even know if he's on the show, but he's kept a pretty low profile. And for him to be big like that and have to be, you know, with all these beautiful people in Italy and everybody's got all these wonderful clothes on, and not that you can't do it, you know, when you're big. Big people look good in their clothes too, as long as, and when you got that kind of money, you can look damn good in your clothes. So it's not the fact that he's so big, but I think that he's ashamed of his weight, the way he looks. He's uncomfortable, and he doesn't want to even be around folks for people to gawk and say things and stare at him anyway. So yeah, he got the hell on up out of there. So her brother wasn't there. Yet and still, we saw the pictures and everything was beautiful. Kim wore a Valentino gown that was just, oh, it was just awesome, just beautiful. The veil, the way it covered her, you know, I mean, she looked angelic. They saying that Kanye, you know, planned the entire thing. And we all know that Kanye has a flair for dramatics and all of that. So I'm sure it was beautiful, and I'm sure it was all that it was supposed to be. You know, as time goes on, we see more and more pictures. So yeah, I mean, just congratulations. I don't have any problem with Kim Ye at all. I think that they're, you know, perfect for each other, and I'm hoping that they're happy. Of course, the Carter Knowles, or the Knowles Carter, they were not there. And of course, rumors are all flying around saying that because they have their own marital problems, and so they decided to go off to the Hamptons and work on their marriage. And then they're saying that they didn't go because Rachel Roy was there and they didn't want to, you know, deal with Rachel Roy. And I don't see why it couldn't just be as they didn't fucking feel like going, because it was already going to be kind of a circus. And the fact that Jay-Z being there and Beyonce would just taking the attention even further. So maybe they just decided to gracefully bow out. Beyonce did post, you know, congratulations and hope them a lifetime of happiness in their marriage and everything, and that was fine enough. I mean, you know, these two don't owe nothing to Kim Ye and them. Yeah, I guess it would have been good for Jay-Z to be there as the best man, because that's what Kanye wanted him to be, but you know, everybody's got to make their own decisions and live their own life, and that's what those two chose. So, like I said, congratulations to Kim Ye. I do also hope them a lifetime of happiness, and you know, they deserve to be with each other. They've got this beautiful child together, and I hope it all works out for them. So that's it. Congratulations, Kim Ye. Got to talk about Dr. Dre's deal with Apple, and not really Dr. Dre's deal. I will say that it was Beats by Dre. You know, that deal with Apple. They're saying that the deal has fallen through. You know, it was all this issue about whether or not Dr. Dre was going to be the first billionaire, and You know, I had told you guys a while ago that Dr. Dre had sold his shares of Beats by Dre, and then he bought back into the company, but only 25%. So he was only a 25% owner. So if they were going to sell the Beats by Dre for $3 billion, then he was not going to make $3 billion off of it. He was only going to make 25% of that. So that would have been somewhere around, what, 700 million. I think the deal was like 3.2 million or whatever. I mean, ain't nobody really caring. Ain't nobody really counting your coins when you got that fucking kind of money, okay? You know, then it was all this issue about whether or not he was going to be the first billionaire, if it was going to be Puffy. And, you know, like I said, I'm sure none of them care. When you got that kind of money, who the hell cares? Now they're saying that the deal is falling through. And I don't know if that is or isn't true. And some people are blaming the deal falling through on the fact that Tyrese was on Instagram crip walking and celebrating celebrating Dr. Dre's victory. I guess it was premature. I guess it hadn't happened yet. And some are saying that Apple saw that and was like, oh no, that's not the brand that we want to be represented by, and we're going to pull out of the deal. Now, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if the deal is or isn't going through anymore. And it seems like it would be stupid for Apple to hold Dr. Dre, you know, accountable for, you know, stupid ass Tyrese, who, you know, even though Tyrese is stupid, I don't really feel like he was trying to do any, you know, and do Dr. Dre dirty in that. He was just excited. You know, many of us were. I mean, everybody was all doing the congratulations that whole day. So, and I think that Apple has to know a general background of Dr. Dre and where he's come from and what he's been through, the different groups that he's been in, the drama that came with Suge Knight and Death Row, and, you know, kind of all the shit that he's overcome. So I don't feel like they should be all that surprised that maybe he might be hanging around somebody that knows how to grip walk. You don't never know. So I'm going to try to see if I can find out if that story is even true. It is sure enough unfortunate if it is true. You know, I mean, in that the deal fell through, because I know that I mean, not that Dr. Dre is hurting for any money. He's already very well established millionaire. But, you know, ain't nobody trying to take away their goddamn $800 million or whatever it was. But yeah, I'll let you guys know. But y'all let me know if you know for sure that it's over, then leave that below. And, you know, if you think that it's because of Tyrese, then y'all gone, and y'all leave that below too. That Tyrese is a stupid ass, ain't he? And the quickies will be, Rick Ross has got tattooed on his chin, right underneath his lip, Rich Forever. So he has joined the group of other rappers who have tattoos on their face. Do you guys think that's sexy? Wiz Khalifa was arrested the other day when he tried to go through the airport security with marijuana in his pocket. Police officers did take him into the local jail. However, they were not smart enough to take his cell phone, so he was posting pictures on Instagram the entire night. Yasin Bey, also known to you guys as Mos Def, has been denied entry into the United States after he said himself some disparaging comments about the U.S. while he was living in South Africa. He has been living in South Africa for the last year and performing over there. And when he came back to the U.S. to start on a leg of a concert that he was having here, the U.S. said, take your motherfucking ass back to South Africa since you like that bitch so much more than you like it over here. Sunday Carter from the Basketball Wives LA franchise was arrested for DUI. They said she was driving at almost 2.5 times the legal limit in Glendale, California. They say that Sunday was driving eastbound on the westbound traffic at 1 o'clock 1 o'clock in the morning. She was really fucked up if you're driving on the other side of the street. Rapper Busta Rhymes has gotten that letter in the mail from the IRS and say that you owe us over $790,000 in back taxes. So what we gonna do is we gonna get together a fish fry for Mr. Rhymes. We gonna have chicken dinners $550, rib dinners $650, and combination plates $750. And lastly, the Whitney Houston family is very upset with the biopic that is going to now be a television special on Lifetime, directed by Angela Bassett. Even though we feel Angela Bassett can handle the duty, they feel that someone of Whitney Houston's level should have a movie that's for the big screen, and I will agree. Whitney Houston was too big of a person to have a Lifetime special. I'm sure that Angela Bassett will do the best that she can, considering that she had some level of friendship with Whitney Houston, but still, this is a project that I think that we all agree should be up on the screen and, you know, done the exact and right way. I mean, we got a James Brown picture coming out, and I feel like Whitney Houston was just as big as James Brown, just from a different era. So yeah, that's kind of fucked up, but I guess we gonna take it, because if it's not on TV, I guess it won't be nowhere. Alright, you guys, so that's it. We do this every week, so make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.